guys, I'm Jack.
And I'm Marcella.
And we just got back from the movies. We just saw Star Wars The Last Jedi and it was amazing.
Amazing.
My god. So incredible. We loved it so much. 5 out of 5 stars. Like A+, like
definitely.
Wonderful.
It goes off the scale. We went into the theater with really high expectations.
Yeah, really high.
Because when everybody was seeing it, and everybody was like freaking out that it was like the best Star Wars movie of like all time, and I think it definitely met my expectations, right? Did it meet your expectations?
I was very, very happy in that theater. I was very emotional at some scenes. I was very like, I was so shocked, honestly.
I cried like 2 separate times. I got really emotional.
There were like a good like 2 or 3 scenes that really
like got you in the feels.
Actually, there was quite more than that. I think there was.
Well,
there was a lot.
I can remember 2 that were like got me really like where I was like tearing up. I was like crying.
There was a lot of flailing in theater. Me and Marcella were like,
we were like
freaking out. I think we were just dying in the theater.
It was really hard to keep quiet in the theater.
It was really hard.
I'm so used to like reacting like really loudly to things and like not having to like be quiet.
No, I mean you can't be quiet.
In Star Wars, you can't be quiet. But
yeah, but you have to because you're in a theater. But a lot of people like, oh my god, it was really funny.
The excitement was real though in our theater.
In our theater, people were really excited. Like as soon as like the lights went up and you saw Lucasfilm, this one guy in the front goes, yes! And it was like,
and everybody started clapping.
Everybody clapped. Like,
yeah.
It was great. The movie was so good. It was so much better than The Force Awakens, and we love The Force Awakens, but this was on a new level. We absolutely.
I mean, I wouldn't say that it's like better than like
the original trilogy because there's nothing that's ever gonna be better than the original trilogy.
Like I wouldn't put this like. I don't think this was my favorite. Like I wouldn't call it my favorite Star Wars movie. I would say that it's definitely up there though.
It's
yeah,
really up there.
I can't pick a favorite. I don't know.
Exactly. It's really hard. There was just so many great character scenes and so much fantastic character development.
So many amazing fight scenes.
Oh my god, the fight scenes! If you haven't seen it yet, you really have to go see it. Like,
I haven't seen it yet. What are you doing? Go see it.
It was worth buying tickets like 2.5 months ago. It was so the plot was really there was great pacing. The music was just so many emotions. There was a lot of scenes that were reminiscent to the original trilogy.
A lot of parallels. A lot of parallels thrown in there just like get you right in the feels and so yeah, if you have not seen the movie, then you have to go see it, but now we're going to talk more about what happened, so if you've not seen the movie, you don't want to watch any further, because it's not a movie that you want to spoil.
No. Go see it, and then you can come back, and we'll talk all about the emotions, and
talk about it
out, because I am bursting to talk about it. So, the scene in the beginning, this starts off, like, really cool, honestly. Like, I really love the scene with General Hux and Poe and BB-8.
I hate General Hux so much. He was so annoying.
He was really annoying.
He's been annoying, but in this movie specifically, he was really annoying.
Him and Kylo Ren just have like this dominance battle, it seems like, with the Supreme Leader.
Yeah, but he got him good.
Yeah, he did.
He got him good at that. In the scene where he choked him, I was so happy. I started like cheering.
Yeah, that
internally,
was
of course, because you can't cheer in the movie theater.
The beginning of the movie was really cool, and I was just waiting to see Leia again. I was waiting to see Luke and Rey and Kylo Ren. I was just waiting to see them, and we just see Poe and BB-8, which was awesome.
What I really liked is that we got to see BB-8 on, like, flying with Poe, because in Force Awakens, BB-8 wasn't really with Poe, because Poe wasn't really in the movie like that much, because you thought he was dead, and then he came back. But we got to see him actually with BB-8, and we got to see their relationship. And like, he cares about BB-8 so much. But yeah, I like that we got to see BB-8 in the back of the ship and like actually flying, and not so much just rolling on the ground. Because I feel like that's all we've really seen him do is like following them around. So to see him fly, that was really cool.
BB-8 was fantastic in this movie. He was like fixing everything. He was getting them out of situations. Like, he was so cool. And then I really did miss seeing R2-D2 though.
Yeah, that's one thing that we did mention.
In this one, but like that's okay.
Even with like even when like they showed C-3PO, we didn't get him too much either, because he was kind of just like in like where Leia was, like with the Resistance. But I feel like we should have got more scenes with like R2-D2 and C-3PO, because those two, like, they have so much history. They go way back, you know. I love those two together. And But yeah, we didn't really get that too much, I thought.
No, yeah.
We got more of BB-8, which I guess because he's like the new droid.
Yeah.
But still.
I know. It was really cool, and I really enjoy Poe. He's really hot.
Poe is awesome. He's awesome, though. Like, that beginning fight scene. And I love how he's so, like, he's such a leader.
Yeah. And we're finally back where we left Rey with Luke. We get that scene of her holding out the lightsaber to him, and
I was literally on the edge of my seat.
We were like, oh my god, we're here again. Finally, we're seeing this.
And Luke, the lightsaber, throws it behind him.
We literally looked at each other like, what? And that was unexpected. It was very dramatic. And Luke just like huffs and puffs his way away
into his little hut.
Yeah.
Which reminded me of Yoda living in like the forest, because Yoda like lived in a hut like that, and he lived very secluded. I feel like like,
well, Luke says he was there to die. Like he went there to die.
Exactly.
So yeah, it was very reminiscent of Yoda, and even a little bit of Obi-Wan, actually. How in Obi-Wan, between Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope, how Obi-Wan leaves and he's very detached from humanity. But I mean, I guess we're going to see more in the Obi-Wan Kenobi movie, what happened in between those years. But yeah, it was very reminiscent of the Obi-Wan and Yoda, definitely. Chewie sees Luke, and Luke says, like, Han, like, he's like, you're here with the Falcon?
Yeah.
Oh my god, that was really emotional. That was another one that was...
One thing we did also notice was that Chewbacca wasn't in this as much either. I mean, he was.
Yeah.
Like, we did get, like, a funny scene of him with, like, the little porg things.
Yeah.
But I feel like he wasn't as... Like, there was just that really cool scene where he's in the Falcon with Rey.
Yeah, that was
really good. But I feel like he wasn't as involved. I guess because he didn't have Han.
Yeah,
that's why.
it would have been really sad, actually. Yeah, but you know, he was a bigger figure in the first one for sure, Chewbacca, and this one he kind of had to step back.
Yeah,
and it was more. I feel like this one was a lot. It was definitely plot driven, and you got to see a lot of the Resistance versus the First Order. Like, there was a lot of that in this one. But it was like the plot was great and it moved perfectly. But I felt like this was a lot more character driven. We got so much amazing character development in this one. And it was needed. And we got so much backstory. And at the same time, we didn't get answers to some questions that we wanted.
Yes!
But at the same time, we still got, like, I still left the theater, like feeling dying and desperately needing the next movie.
It's funny because we were all asking questions that were irrelevant.
Yeah.
It's funny.
Yeah. Like, for example, who were Rey's parents? We all
ended up that she's just a nobody. She's a random girl.
She's not a Kenobi like we thought. She's just...
We were all betting money on different things. We thought she was a Kenobi, and then there was the whole thing with her being like Anakin, and then her being a Skywalker, her being this and that, and she's just a normal person.
Yeah, which I think that they did that because they wanted it to be like anybody who's sitting watching a Star Wars movie can be a Jedi, and I really did like that. Like, I
like that, but I feel like I wasted my life trying to figure out who you were.
You could have let us know in 2015 not to bother thinking about this for 2 years.
Like, do you know how many like prediction videos are out there on YouTube trying to prove that she's this person or that person? But
all irrelevant. The other question that we were asking that didn't really get answered or resolved was, who is Snoke? Like, what is he?
I guess we'll never know that either.
I mean,
unless we find out the next one, which I don't think we will, because that's kind of like randomly they just throw that in there.
That scene with Snoke and Kylo Ren in the very beginning of the movie, that is the only time that we see Kylo Ren with his mask on, because he still wants to be this apprentice for Snoke, and he still wants to follow everything
he still wants to be Darth Vader.
Exactly.
That's his idol. That's why he has the mask.
But that scene with them when we actually get to see Snoke, like in the last movie he was just like the projection. Now he was a real like actually there, and he was really like, creepy.
He reminded me of Voldemort because he was bald.
He did look a little bit like a Voldemort, but he was just really creepy and like crippled and really powerful, and I think he was scarier than the Emperor. Like, he seemed more physical, maybe. He was more just like active, I guess. Yeah. And then we see him break the mask, and that was very symbolic, guys. Like, the mask was a display of him being more in the dark, and with that mask off, I feel like it was more of a humanity to him and not just that monster that he tries to portray himself to be. And
I love when he took the mask off.
Adam Driver. I love Adam Driver, and he is such a great actor, and he just played Kylo Ren's conflicting emotions just so well. And
he's so complex. He's a very complex character.
So complex. I love the depth that they gave his character. It was so good.
And you could just see it in his eyes, that confliction, like you said. You could just feel that he's like, he doesn't fully believe in what he's doing, but he's doing it anyway.
I am like so on board about Reylo, guys. The Rey and Kylo Ren scenes. We're gonna talk a little bit more about Rey and Kylo Ren a little bit later, but right now we really need to delve into Leia and Kylo Ren not being able to kill his mom, and we get to see Leia use the Force. I love that scene with Leia, and then you see her use the Force, because we literally said this, I think, in our recent, what review was that? It was one of our Star Wars reviews that we did. And we literally were so, like, going back, we were like, why didn't they do that with Leia? Why didn't they let her use the Force in any of these movies? And getting her to, like, seeing her use the Force was amazing. That was fantastic. It was like one of like the highlights. I love that they put that in there. Yeah. The way that Kylo Ren, he really hesitates, and you see that finger on the button, and we're like, oh my god. And then he doesn't do it, which that moment was such a turning point for him. Yeah. Because that was when we all realized there's still that little bit of light still in him, because he wasn't able to kill his mom. He was able to kill his dad in the last one, but he's not completely there where he could do that. When the explosion happens and you see Leia like fall out of the ship and she's like floating through space, and I'm like having a heart attack in my seat, like what the hell is going on? There were so many moments where like, yeah, I know, freaking out. Yeah, I know, we had like our notepads and we were just like banging, like we were just freaking out. This episode really had 3 different storylines going, and they would like chop them up and kind of like see them in different areas, and it was very reminiscent to the way that they set up Empire Strikes Back. Like it was just different shots like continuously. And so we had the storyline going with Finn and Rose, which we'll talk about later, and then we had the whole scenes with the Resistance and the Rebel base and all that kind of thing, and then we had Luke, Rey, and the Kylo Ren dynamic going on. And the moment when Luke goes on the Falcon, I was so emotional. That was one of the lights, and it's like we go back in time with him. That was one of the moments in the theater when I like got choked up. Yeah, me too. That was one of the moments that was emotional. Yeah, and Luke touches R2-D2. He goes, "My old friend," like, "Hello, my old friend." And that's what Obi-Wan says to R2-D2 when he sees him in A New Hope. He says, "Hello, my old friend." And then, this was literally my favorite part. When R2-D2 shows him the message of Leia from A New Hope. And that really drove him to train Rey, and that broke him, and it broke all of us, because and then the dice came back a lot. We were really surprised about that. The dice, which was in the ship, which, you know, dice symbolize luck, and I think that Han won that, but that was a big thing throughout the whole movie, was the dice. That was really symbolic to Han, I guess. That does drive him to eventually train Rey, and that scene when he's training Rey, and with the leaf, she's like closing her eyes, she's like, I feel it. He goes, reach out, and she reaches out her arm, like, physically. It's like the leaf. Do you feel it? Oh my gosh, there's nothing I've ever felt before. You've never felt a leaf? I thought that was really funny. That dynamic was so interesting, and Luke is such a different character now. He's darker. He is darker. Been through a lot, and he talks about it with Rey when he mentions that he was this legend, and everybody talks about Luke Skywalker, and he felt like that, I guess, was a lot to live up to. That's a lot of pressure. He was literally this hero. Yeah, exactly. They were all those heroes, and yeah, that's a lot. It was for him, and oh my gosh, Reylo, the Force bod. Literally every single fanfic that I've read, like, that is a fanfic thing. Like, the Force bod. Like, what? I was so excited about that. I was really, like, I was dying in the theater, guys. I thought it's interesting when they first find out that they have the Force bond. Kylo Ren is like, bring me Luke Skywalker, and he doesn't understand what is going on, but he just knows that they see each other. It's like really interesting, and we've never really got to fully see the Force like that, except briefly with Luke and Leia, but not to that extent where you feel like you're like next to the person. That was some intense stuff.
Yeah, and those scenes were really intense, especially when they were reaching out to each other. And then Luke walks in and is just like, no!
The cave scene. Oh, I love that scene when Rey says to him, you know, you're not alone. And he's like, neither are you. I love that scene with Rey and Kylo Ren when they say that to each other.
It's funny because both of them thought that the other was going to join the other. Like, he thought that she was going to join the dark side, and she thought that he was going to join the light side.
I feel like they're very similar characters, though, in the way that they're both lonely, and they both want that companionship, and they want somebody to be with them and help them get through and
there's
figure
that scene
this
of him
out.
being like, I know that your parents, you know, that you're nobody.
But you are to, you're nothing but you're like, you are to me, but you're not to me. Like, that scene in the throne room. We get to see it when, you know, how connected they are when she's touching the rain for the first time, and then there's rain on his hand, and they're just so connected. And then the cave scene when they touch the hands, it was just really, really intimate, and she sees him shirtless, and she's like really flushed, and Adam Driver's looking really hot, and I was just like in theater, like
she was like, can you put on a towel or something?
Like, she was just so attracted to him, and she's like, why? And there was just a lot of sexual I thought there was a lot of sexual tension between them, and I felt a lot of chemistry between them.
They have good chemistry, those two actors. Like,
they do.
Really intense.
It was so intense, and the way that they would look at each other was just it was so conflicted, and they went from hating each other and fighting to having an understanding, and we get this backstory of Kylo Ren, which added so much depth to his character.
Well, we finally find out the way that it went down, and that Luke, it was his fault that Kylo got pushed to the dark side ultimately, because he was contemplating killing him, and you know, even though he decided in that he did it for like a split second, it was still that split second where he messed up. He messed up, and that drove him over the edge at that point. He messed up everything, And I love that they threw that in, though. That was so unexpected. I would have never been able to guess that.
That gave a lot more to his character and a really stronger understanding of Ben Solo. Because, you know, last movie we were wondering what happened to Han and Leia's kid. What did Luke do? And that was bad. And, you know, that's why in the end, the ending when he's fighting Luke, you can't really blame him for wanting to kill Luke, because Luke tried to kill him when he was young. You know?
But I have a question. Do you think that if Luke didn't bring out the lightsaber like that, do you think that Kylo Ren would still have gone bad?
No, and I guess we'll never know.
We'll never know, but do you think? Because he still says the reason why he did that with the lightsaber,
because he felt
why he was going to kill him, was because he felt that he was going to go to the dark side. Do you think that he still would have went to the dark side?
I think that he was, you could even tell in this movie, he wants to stray in the light. I think he had a lot to not turn evil. Like, he didn't have to turn to the dark side, and there was a reason why he didn't turn to the dark side yet at that time. And that was just his breaking point. And yeah, I mean, it was heartbreaking though to see Luke be like that towards him. It was like you kind of, he was afraid of his power.
Love how there was a lot of mentions of Darth Vader. And there was that one scene when Luke was talking to Rey. He's talking about the Jedi and how the Jedi, you know, it was their fault that Darth Sidious ended up ruling and messing everything up.
Yeah, I really did love that they gave Luke this
this darkness to him, and I feel like
he felt very,
I mean, the poster makes sense now.
Yeah, exactly. But it was a lot of like turmoil about the Jedi and what it means to be a Jedi,
which is so interesting, because Luke has always been this just light, and he's always been so good, like, to his core. Like, Luke Skywalker was just good. Like, he wouldn't be, like, he wasn't swayed to the dark side, and that was just interesting to see him like that.
In the end, he still is Anakin's son. He still is, you know.
I mean, in the end, he wasn't completely like bad.
No, he wasn't bad.
But he did have this. He wasn't all light.
Well, I think he also felt a lot of guilt for what happened with Ben Solo. I think he feels that he failed his nephew, and he says that, you know, he failed him, and they both failed each other in that way. And it was just, I really enjoyed that backstory. I thought it was so well done, and it just, that moment when Rey is fighting Luke and she says, I'm going to get Ben to turn back to the light side. He's not completely to the dark side yet. I love that scene. That was really, really intense to see them fight each other.
When they're fighting and then she pulls her lightsaber on him and he falls over.
Oh, that was great. And I just love that scene. The elevator scene with Rey and Kylo Ren, and how they each had this moment when they touched hands and they saw their future. And, you know, Kylo Ren sees Rey turning to his side, and Rey sees Kylo Ren being Ben Solo and coming to her side. And I just think it's really interesting that they both picture a future together. That was put there by Snoke. Yeah, that was manipulation by Snoke.
I was still a little confused about that because I didn't know if it was like the whole connection that was put there by him or just the scenes of the future.
Yeah,
I was a little confused about that.
Yeah,
sometimes I wish I could like rewind when we watch movies.
The scenes in the future though, that's what I know that was definitely put in there by Snoke.
That was put in there by him, right?
Yeah, because that led her to go there.
That was his plan, yeah.
Yeah, to get her there. That was insane, the way that he was controlling her by having her come up, and to see the two of them with Snoke and Rey. Yeah, I know he was gonna kill her, and then Kylo Ren is just watching this, and he's so conflicted because he has a bond with Rey, and they care for one another in this way that
I think they can relate to each other.
Exactly.
They have an understanding.
They have this connection, the two of them, and he is watching this happen. And then when Snoke, he turns right around and tells Kylo Ren to kill her and, you know, finish what he started back in The Force Awakens with the two of them. Like, you know, here she is, we're done with this, kill her and be done. And he doesn't do it.
I love that scene when the lightsaber is shaking and then it comes and it just kills him.
Snoke.
And then it flies, into her hand. Yeah. And they both turn with their lightsabers and start fighting. That was one of the best scenes in the movie.
That was my favorite part of the movie, when the two of them, after Kylo Ren kills Snoke, the choreography of that fight scene was so cool. And in the theater, we were just cheering and we were freaking out in the theater because that was such a twist, and I love that they did that, and it was just so cool to see the two of them go up against each other, and the way that they like would look over at each other while the other was fighting, and then they would like, she eventually like lets him use her lightsaber, and
there's a point when she uses his lightsaber too.
Yeah, it was just awesome, and I just love that scene so much. It was probably one of my favorites.
That was definitely one of the best.
I think that actually was my favorite.
It was just so unexpected, and it was just so cool the way that they both turned with the lightsabers and started fighting. I love that scene so much. Then we get that whole big dialogue between them when he tells her who her parents are, and he wants her to join him, and he's like, it's time for all of this to end. He was like, no more Jedi, no more Sith, nothing anymore. And he wants her, and it was very reminiscent, I think, to Padme and Anakin in the prequels, when he tells Padme, he's like, together we can rule the galaxy and rule together. And he says to her, you know, we can bring a new order to the galaxy. And he brings his hand out to her, and she was gonna take it. It was so dramatic. I was like, he's just there for like so long.
It was so touch and go there. It looked like she wanted to, and she was heartbroken that she couldn't do it, because she wants the two of them to be on the same side, because they're both powerful. You know, they're both these powerful Jedi in some way. You know, he was a Jedi, and it's just, she thinks that he's the hope to help save the rebellion and to get away from the First Order and all of that. But
she wanted him to join her, though. She didn't want to go to the dark side. Yeah,
exactly. And I like that Rey was a little bit conflicted there for a minute, but I like that she ultimately, of course, stayed on the light side. And I thought that was just a great scene, and how hurt Kylo Ren was, because that really drives him over the edge to be more dark and more villainous.
For a second there, you think that he's actually good.
I know.
And then ends up being bad still.
Yeah, I really do think that in the next one though that they're gonna that she's gonna eventually save him and bring him over to the light side because this is Disney.
Either that
or she's gonna kill him.
Either that or she's gonna kill him, which
yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it could go either way.
It could
go either way.
But then
I have a feeling that they're not gonna kill him. I just have a feeling.
I think that I have a feeling that she's gonna bring him over to the light side eventually, and I want that to happen. I really love the scene after that with Luke when Luke comes to the big fight scene with the rebels and he's there and he walks his way and it's like, oh my god, Luke is sacrificing himself. Oh my god, that scene, that was literally, I'm pretty sure we like almost jumped out of our seats in that scene when it looks like he died, when they were firing at him and they fired at him for a good like minute. Yeah.
And then he's there, which was like confusing at the time because we're like, what the hell? I did not see that coming, that he wasn't actually there. That was really surprising though. I did not see that coming. And
yeah, I love that conversation between the two of them. I thought that conversation with Kylo Ren and Luke was so great, and just the dialogue there was great about like who the last Jedi really is, and he's like, I'm not the last Jedi, and it was Rey, because then you see Rey move all the rocks.
Rey with the rocks. Yes, that was an amazing scene.
I love that. It was really, really devastating for us to see Luke go, but
the moment that he disappeared,
I feel like during this whole movie, my mouth was just open.
I feel like a lot of people in the theater gasped when that happened.
It was really sad.
I wish they didn't do it.
I know.
I really wish they didn't do it. I mean, it was reminiscent to when he's looking out. Right before it happened, he's looking out at the sun.
Yeah.
And the music, and oh my gosh, A New Hope when he's looking out into the sun.
It was so parallel to A New Hope and that big classic shot of him looking out into the sun. It was just,
I mean, he was at peace when it happened. He just peacefully just disappeared.
Exactly. He became one with the Force, and I'm sure we might see him again in episode 9 as a Force ghost.
Yeah, I think we definitely will.
We got to see Yoda!
Oh my gosh, that was another moment when I actually, like, a few tears went down. I was so happy to see Yoda. That was so emotional.
I didn't know they were gonna do that.
I didn't think so either. I was kind of hoping though. I'm like, oh my gosh, is Anakin next to Yoda, please, dear God?
I wish.
I think I would have screamed.
I think then we would have actually jumped out of our seat.
Yeah, we would have really like jumped on the next the person like in front of us.
I love that conversation that Yoda has with Luke, and they're watching the devastation of like the fires going up in the hut with all the books of the Jedi, and they're talking about how this is the end of the Jedi, and that like the way that Yoda was talking to Luke is what Luke needed to hear, because that's what made him help them out at the end, and that's when he talked to Leia. Oh, I love this scene when Luke talks to Leia, and then you hear the Han and Leia theme in the background, and he apologizes, and he's holding her hand. I thought that was really emotional.
He feels responsible, and in a way he is.
Yeah, it's really sad.
Which none of us ever would have. I can't get over that
either.
I really can't.
I know, it's crazy, but yeah, I thought that scene was
really good.
Yeah, we got to mourn Han Solo a little bit, because they could have made this one really sad if they wanted to.
They didn't.
Seen Leia mourning a lot.
I like that they didn't.
I like that they didn't either. They kept it light. It was really funny. There was a lot of great lines.
They had moments. They did. They had their moments where they did mention him. And
exactly.
With the dice, and then the ship, and I feel like Chewie wasn't. I was afraid that Chewbacca was gonna be like really, really like depressed in this movie, which I guess maybe that's why they didn't throw him in so much.
That's true.
Because we'd have to like see him alone and stuff, and missing him.
His scenes was really funny with Porg when he's like eating like the and they're like all watching him, and he's like, can you not? One
storyline that we liked but it wasn't the best was with Finn and Rose. Yeah. I would have rather though, like, Rose was an interesting character, and I thought that she did have a developed storyline with what happened with her sister, but I'd have rather seen Finn more with like Poe. Yeah. And them kind of going off on like the adventure together and stuff. Yeah. But yeah, that's the only thing that wasn't my favorite. I feel like she just didn't fit in. I don't know why. I guess because it's the second like movie and she's just thrown in there. I don't know, but yeah, it just was off to me. It just didn't feel right. I felt like those scenes were the scenes that I was able to breathe. Like, I literally wrote in my notes, breather scenes. Like, it was intense,
but it wasn't to the level of when I was watching, like, Rey with Luke and the Kylo Ren scenes, like,
or the fight, or like even
fight
like
scene,
even like Poe, like with the resistance and like flying around and stuff. That was more intense. These were just
I felt like this was kind of like a good storyline to just keep the pace of like, oh my god, this, and then it was just like okay, we're here now.
I mean, it wasn't obviously it was an important storyline.
It was definitely really important. I thought it was really interesting with the whole light speed thing. For some reason, I just didn't.
It was, I don't know.
It was interesting though, the light speed though, how they were tracking. I thought that was really cool.
That was interesting when they found out that, and they're like, oh my god, they're doing that because we're gonna run out of fuel.
Yeah, exactly. I thought that was really cool, and so I really did like the scene when they were with like those goat things, and they were like running through and they crashed. Yeah,
that was
the glass.
That was the scene that I did like with them.
I really love that scene. That was great. But
oh my gosh, and then we got the scene with Finn where it looked like he was gonna sacrifice himself. I was so scared during that scene.
I thought he was gonna.
I really thought he was going to.
Yeah, that would have been.
I really did.
Really heartbreaking if he did.
And then I thought that she died.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. And then
a lot of moments where you think something happened and then it's like, oh my god, never mind.
Yeah. Yeah, there was a lot of that actually. I really did love the fight scene though with Finn and Phasma. I thought that was great. That was really cool.
I like how they close up that storyline because, and she calls him like the number, and not really his name, and it was really satisfying that he ended up killing her.
Definitely. They set up, like, I think that it's gonna be the next trilogy.
Yeah, I don't think it's a strange ending because it ended with the little boy who we saw like earlier. He had like the ring on with which was the Resistance. So I feel like maybe he's going to be in the new trilogy.
I think he's gonna be in the trilogy after.
I feel like that would make sense, right?
Yeah, I think that's where they were trying to go with that.
We don't really know much about that. That's why. So
exactly.
I feel like maybe that is gonna have something to do with that.
Yeah, I think that I'm sure we'll see him maybe older in that trilogy, and that's really where that story.
And he's gonna be a part of like some kind of resistance. I don't know.
I think that it was a hopeful ending though. It was this little boy who, you know, a child represents like innocence.
It was just very youth, but it was a different kind of ending for a Star Wars movie. You know what I mean? It was a different kind of ending.
It was. We were just in the theater, like we were like, oh my god, like what's going on? And the way that I took that was like, okay, this is set up for another trilogy.
Yeah, that's how I took it too.
I don't think if he's gonna be in the next one, maybe he will like a little part. I don't know, but I cannot wait to find out. We have so long to wait, but we get the Han Solo movie in May, so we should be getting a trailer for that like really soon. Oh now I'm like, I want a trailer for that. So we have a while to wait for episode 9. And when do they start filming? Do you guys know when does the filming start for that? Because I know it's not filmed yet, and I know after we went like with The Force Awakens, it was like they filmed it like immediately after. So I don't know. So what did you guys think of the movie? I'm so excited to talk with you guys about it.
You guys need to let us know what you thought.
Yes. What were your favorite scenes? What did you guys think about Kylo Ren, Ben Solo's storyline? And what did you think of Rose and Finn and Poe and Leia and Luke? Just all the things.
All of Yoda. What did you think of Yoda?
Just everything. I cannot wait to hear what you guys have to say and what your favorite scenes were in the movie. What was your favorite scene? My favorite scene was the throne room.
My favorite scene was, I liked the throne room. I liked Yoda was and then with Luke and R2-D2 showing him the message with
those were the big. Leia. I think those were like the big
Those were my
highlights.
top 3.
Yeah, and I loved all the scenes with Kylo Ren and Rey because I ship them. So let's talk about the movie down in the comments below. I'm so excited to hear all the things that you guys have to say about it and what you thought.
So if you enjoyed our review, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe for more reviews. We got some good movies coming out. We're gonna go see The Greatest Showman and then Jumanji. So we have a lot of good movies coming out.
Yeah, we're really excited. And yeah, you can also follow us on Twitter and Snapchat and Stardust. We're at Cityofthefeels.
Thank you for watching.
Thank you for watching. Bye!